Now, on to our last area for cloud optimizations. NetBackup 10 can provide an integrated SaaS application data protection, critical capabilities for Kubernetes and multi-cloud data protections, as well as the new Recovery Vault storage as a service offering. Now, most organizations are adopting cloud-native SaaS services like Microsoft 365, which brings to the point of how they can protect their data in the cloud. NetBackup 10 can now integrate with cloud-native SaaS application data protections so that from a single console, organizations can discover, monitor, protect, and secure data across other different applications, be it on-premise, in the cloud, or in the edge infrastructure. This will significantly lower the complexity, risk, as well as the TCO. NetBackup SaaS protections provides protections for SaaS workloads, including auto-discovery of new users, mailbox, and folders in Microsoft 365 without any administrative actions. And we have continued our innovations in SaaS protections with new services to protect Google Workspace. NetBackup 10 integrates SaaS protections, providing unified enterprise-level consistency and scalable data protections, be it on-premise or in the cloud. Now, a key component of our Kubernetes protection strategy has been the ability to protect any distributions. Now, NetBackup 10 built on this with the capabilities to direct restore of Kubernetes environments to any other Kubernetes targets, whether that's on-prem or in the cloud or across clouds. Now, this is important as 50% of our enterprise customers have deployed more than one Kubernetes distribution, and NetBackup assures protections of Kubernetes distributions that the business requires. But more critically, cross-platform recovery means that when there's an outage of a Kubernetes environment, NetBackup has the ability to keep the application up and running and be able to restore in another Kubernetes environments without first requiring to bring down the environments before restoring the data. This way, the data can be quickly restored granularly to another active environment, significantly reducing the downtime of the Kubernetes environments. Now, backing up to the cloud has been one of the key use cases for cloud storage as a target for NetBackup, primarily for tape replacement and long-term retention. NetBackup 10 can now support sending deduped data from a single NetBackup source to multiple cloud storage targets, significantly reducing the backup infrastructure requirements. These cloud targets can be a mixture of different cloud providers, say, for example, AWS, Azure, as well as any of the on-prem supported private cloud storages. These targets can be configured with immutabilities for compliance, and NetBackup will be able to integrate with these storages for additional cyber resiliency protections. Now, speaking about cloud storage targets, I believe you have heard about Veritas storage as a service offering, Recovery Vaults, from Andy, from Jeff, and myself a couple of times throughout these events. You might be curious about what this Recovery Vault offerings is about. There's no better person to talk about this than our product manager, Dawood Wilkinson, who will be spending the next couple of minutes on Recovery Vaults. Now, over to you, Dawood.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here to talk about Recovery Vault. But I wanted to just take a minute to kind of double down on some of the things that Jeff and Cheksan have been talking about. So when we started thinking about Recovery Vault, we started looking at some of the trends that were impacting the future of data protection. Clearly, the amount of data is becoming enormous. Cloud is really playing a major role in this whole process. Our customers are highly concerned about cyber and how they protect their data. And there's all kinds of compliance issues associated with managing and protecting data. And of course, it has to be cost effective, and you need to have a really good ROI associated with it. So as part of the NetBackup cloud scale technology, we've talked about the idea of multi-cloud support, elastic services, automation, of course, security with malware detection and things of that nature, and then a full-featured granular recovery. But what I want to talk about with tying all this together in a cloud-efficient storage platform called Recovery Vault. Now, Recovery Vault is a strategic fit. It's a strategic component of the evolution to cloud scale technology. And as we evolve cloud scale technology, cloud storage as a service was one of our first offerings in a SaaS offering for the cloud. So what are some of the challenges that we started to look at when we started to think about how we were going to manage storage as a service? Well, clearly, ransomware is a huge issue for customers. Some customers are very concerned, in some cases, going to the cloud because of ransomware. Others are thinking, well, that is the answer to ransomware, is to put data up in the cloud. So we started to consider that when we started thinking about cloud scale technology and Recovery Vault. And then, of course, backup is a specialized app. So there's challenges. You can go make a lot of snapshots, but to manage them efficiently, you need to have a very efficient storage management platform, which is what NetBackup gives you. And then cloud provisioning sometimes can be very complicated. What we found in many cases in talking to customers is that many times they'll create cloud buckets, apply certain permissions to those that may be overly generous. So misconfiguration can be a real problem, especially when you are putting data up into the cloud. And then cloud storage costs can be unpredictable. We're trying to help manage cloud storage costs with Recovery Vault. So these traditional approaches to cloud data protection sometimes can't keep pace with all the complexity, all the changes that are occurring with the move to the cloud and embracing a cloud type of environment. So why Recovery Vault? So we wanted to build out a platform that has good ransomware protection. It's built for data protection. It's built with MSDPC in mind. It has a very simplified support experience. And operationally, you manage it within the NetBackup UI. And we have predictable costs. So costs such as ingress and egress fees are included as part of the service. And it gives customers an opportunity to move from a CapEx model to an OpEx model through subscriptions. So what would be done with Recovery Vault is created a seamless cloud storage as a service. It's provisioned securely within the NetBackup UI. So you take advantage of all the strong security features associated with NetBackup. It provides subscription-based cost. It has consumption reporting. NetBackup Recovery Vault is based on back-end terabytes. The subscription model is 1 to 3 years, and all ingress and egress costs are assumed in the service. So what does it do in terms of recovery, in terms of security and ransomware? So this is built in a Veritas tenant. We build it out in a Veritas tenant, which provides a virtual air gap for ransomware. And it's really what we think about as controlled isolation. It reduces the attack surface that you may experience with so many fingers touching your other cloud environments in your own tenant. So it's a Veritas tenant with control isolation. And you can recover either in the cloud to NetBackup environment that may be set up in the cloud or to the data center. And it has limitless scale, as you would expect with any cloud SaaS storage solution. And again, the costs are very, very predictable. The price that we charge per terabyte is the price that you pay every month. And there is no surprises that many customers experience because they're churning the data or they're paying for many ingress and egress fees. And so they go with an expectation that there's going to be a certain price, and then they find out that it's costing them a lot more. We have a very, very robust storage, isolation, and security design with NetBackup Recovery Vault. This really assures customers that their environment is isolated and secure. Today, NetBackup Recovery Vault is managed, the tenant is managed by our EV.cloud team, who have been doing this kind of thing for almost 15 years now. So the onboarding and renewal process is really simple. We have a 30-day evaluation. If you want to take advantage of that for 10 terabytes of Recovery Vault, you can acquire it either direct or through a channel partner. It's a very simple intake form. It's back supported through NetBackup 9 and 9.1. And the buckets are created in the NetBackup UI. So the backup administrators are actually managing the cloud storage within the NetBackup environment. You get monthly usage reporting and automatic renewals at the end of term. So we have a number of assets out there that you can take advantage of. YouTube videos showing you how this is set up. The NetBackup Recovery Vault available to you after the show today. So to learn more, I would suggest that you go out to Veritas.com, look for Recovery Vault. You can take advantage of the 30-day evaluation and move forward with Recovery Vault, a secure Veritas managed cloud storage tenant completely managed by the customer within the NetBackup UI. So today we support Azure with Recovery Vault with the announcement of NetBackup 10. We support AWS as well as Azure. Immutability on both of those platforms. So object locks are something you can take advantage of. And we're looking at expanding this service to more and more cloud providers and adding more and more functionality into the Recovery Vault to allow you to get more services, more functionality out of your cloud storage. So stay tuned, because we have a lot of really exciting things we're going to be doing within the Recovery Vault that will allow you to take advantage of a lot of new services. So in closing, I just say NetBackup Recovery Vault, reduce your risk, scale limitlessly, lower your TCO, autonomous data protection, and a unified solution.